Some of you are going to love this and some of you are going to hate it. But if we were in the classroom, we'd have you draw out some quadratics. Quadratics can be drawn or built with blocks, like the blocks you use, the base 10 blocks. The flat would be your x squared because it's x by x. The long rods would be an x because it's x by 1. And the little cubes would be your ones. So if I was going to build this, it would have one flat, it would have 3 rods, and it would have 2 unit cubes. When you factor a quadratic, you build your quadratic into a rectangle, and the dimensions of the rectangle are your factors. So if I was going to factor this, I would try to fit the pieces together so I could make a rectangle. So I'm going to have 2 on one side, 1 on the other side of the square, and then I have my 2 units. So this rectangle is this quadratic factored. So it factors into x plus 1 times x plus 2. Those are the 2 factors for that quadratic. Now, if I would factor the following quadratic, x squared plus 4x plus 4, I would have one of the flats, I would have 4 rods, and I would have 4 units. I need to fit this into a rectangle. So I'm going to start by putting my square down, my flat. I'm going to put 2 of these on each side, and then I have my 4 cubes to go in the open space. So this quadratic made a perfect square. It's a perfect square trinomial. Its factors are x plus 2 and x plus 2. It factors into the same dimension, length, and width. So you can write it like this, or you could write the factors like this. This will help you when we do completing the square in a minute. You'll watch a video on how to complete the square, but knowing how to make a quadratic into a square is helpful. So if you had x squared plus 6x, and we asked you to figure out how many unit blocks you would need to make a perfect square, we're asking you to take the x squared, fit the rods on either side of the square, and now fill in with unit cubes. And you would need 9 unit cubes to make this work as a square. The dimensions would be x plus 3, x plus 3. So for the first couple of questions on the notes, you're going to be filling in what you need for unit cubes to make it work as a square. So if you had x squared plus 8x, and we want you to fill in, you have an x squared, you have 8 of these, so you can put 4 on each side. So now you want to fill in how many you would need to make it into a perfect square trinomial, and you would need 16 of them.